Hey, Aprentistas. I'm here to give you a quick Week 5 overview. Of course, it always helps to go straight down on the module. Do this first, Week 5 overview video. If you're watching me right now, you're doing that thing. Always your first step. Next step will be to look at the overview in week form. So in other words, you know what is due on what day. We've got our objectives at the top here. We're going to be discussing migration, but also being in between spaces and in between cultures and languages, being at a point of intersection in Gloria Anzaldua's Borderlands / La Frontera. Ooh, excuse me. Um, That'll be our discussion. That's going to be due on Monday. Remember, your first comment is there. The reading, it's going to shift kind of hard at places, but I think it's got a lot of insights that are going to like click with people pretty immediately. Uh, so if you feel like you're a little bit lost at one point, that's a great thing to throw into the discussion as well. You know, I'm not sure what she meant by XXXXX or whatever. Put it in there, you know, and speculate on an answer, right? The more conversation we have, the more we get out of these readings. You're also going to be submitting a rough draft through Canvas, but also we are going to be doing a peer review for our rough draft. The peer review is coming up on Thursday, the 9th. Notice what it says in bold here. You're going to have your essay number 1 rough draft due in class. So that means your body paragraphs, your intro, and your conclusion. I gave you a little bit of work on intros and conclusions. I will post some more information about that very soon, just in case people are stressed about it. But don't forget, your body paragraphs are the most important. Get those down first, and then we can think about intros and conclusions. Like I said, that's the bread on the sandwich. So we'll be taking a look at peer review in class and some other structural elements, ways to write papers that are arguing for an evaluation or a claim of value, if you want to call it that. We'll talk about specific word choices or evaluating words in class as well. Notice I've taken your 2 comments on 2 different posts. Remember, that's usually due Thursday, but I'm not going to make you do that and submit rough draft that day. So I'm going to give you a little bit more leeway on your posts and replies and make that due on Friday the 10th. So enjoy that little bit of extra time. Now, other things you'll notice, of course, I've got the reading set right here. If you have the book, you can get it in the book as well. I know some people are interested in printouts. We can keep talking about that. Notice I've also got a link here to how to format your works cited page right off of the OWL. Other common sources, and you just keep zipping down here. They're going to get more funky. Films or movies. Just go straight down this list. You can use Speed Racer as an example, and then fill in the other information that is particular and specific to the infiltrators. Also worth noticing is that I put up a student example of an evaluation essay. And again, you guys know already that, you know, I find that's really important. It's super helpful to see how other people have gone through the maneuvers and turned out something that was good. And now this is about a different movie, but it's got some similar themes regarding immigration and struggle. It's the film called El Norte. You should be able to watch it, I believe, for free on YouTube and on a few other platforms. But you don't have to do that for here. It does a good enough job showing the reader that they know what the movie's about and can explain it. And again, what's really, really great about this essay, I think, it's got a good, solid thesis statement. It's got support paragraphs with that triac structure, strong topic sentences, very specific illustration examples, and some analysis at the end of that illustration to answer that question. So why is this example so important? Why is this part of the movie so important? So it's going to help tie it back in. Anyway, I think it does more than a good job on this. And hopefully that helps, make people feel like, oh, okay, this is more doable than I thought it would be. Coming up on your discussion, I'll go ahead and jump to that real fast. We've got a couple different questions we can explore on this one, and they all relate back to Gloran Zaldua's reading. The first one is about stories of migration, and how that might compare to stories that you have heard or experienced. How are they similar and how are they different? And the next one I think is a really interesting one. And what effect did it have on you to have both English and Spanish in the same text? I know we've seen a bit of that back and forth in the readings we did last semester as well, but I think she takes it one step further in some ways. What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? Remember, there's no right or wrong answer to this. It's just about being able to explain your evaluation with support from the text. And again, it's not supposed to be like essay level structure necessarily. This is a conversation with back and forth. Finally, what effect did it have on you to have both poetry and prose? That means anything that's not poetry, just regular text and sentences and paragraphs in the same text. She kind of makes some hard shifts between poetry and prose. And sometimes we may ask ourselves, wow, why is this going on? Did I miss something here? I mean, I think one of the things you can do to help yourself kind of follow that groove is to think about it a little bit like a jump cut in a movie. Like you're watching some totally thrilling or engaging scene in a movie, and then suddenly, in a blink of an eye, it goes somewhere else. There's like a sense of like heightened tension and excitement, but you know what? There's also going to be some confusion going on when that jump cut happens in a movie. Keep with it. Keep viewing if you're watching that movie. Keep reading. Sometimes that relationship becomes clear the more you read. So don't let any one sentence, any one paragraph, any one section throw you off. Just keep going through it, annotate, take some notes along the way. And again, I'm really, really interested to hear your feedback on this. And again, post one or two questions at the end. That's really important. Putting in strong lines from the actual text is important too. It makes it specific, gives you something to really anchor your reaction to. And again, if you're not sure about your response, start with a hedge, something like maybe, or it could be that, or we could look at it as. And of course, here's the rest of the information. You've seen a bunch of that boilerplate before. Nothing real new there. One very quick reminder, in all caps, bring that rough draft to class on Thursday. Print it at home if you can, or print it at campus earlier before class. If you want to print in class, make sure you are in class early. Be there like 10 before or so if you can, just so we don't have like a huge rush for the printers. Sometimes they get backed up. Sometimes they smell fear. So keep that in mind. Finally, you will have a submission for your rough draft as well. Now, with those outlines, some people ask me the question, do I just submit the same thing? And I said, you can, but I think what's a really good way of looking at this is once you've gotten the feedback from the peer review, which is going to be pretty extensive, I think it's worth it to go through, make those changes that immediately occur to you based on that. Because like with every like little step of refinement, we're one step closer. And again, you've already got the rough draft. If you can just like fiddle with it based on your peers' advice and recommendations, all the better. All you got to do is hit the start assignment button. I put submit assignment, but yeah, all you do is hit start and it will give you a place to upload the file from your computer. Make sure it is a Microsoft Word file. Hopefully there aren't any concerns about that at this point. That's it for week 5. Don't forget, I've got my regular advice hours. I've also got Success Center hours on Tuesday, 10 to 11. I've got a workshop 11 to 12. I'm not remembering which workshop it is, but I can get that for you. But anyway, if you've got any questions at all, big or small, text me on Remind, send me a message through Canvas inbox. I'll be happy to talk to you. Hope you're having a good weekend, and I will see you soon.